wanted your stance on not necessarily what we're doing with Maduro, but how we're managing post-Maduro transition.
Okay, well, are you a Republican, Democrat, progressive, what?
I would lean more Democrat.
Need more Democrat. Okay. What's the critique here?
Uh, I think it's ridiculous that you run on the platform of meddling less in other countries' problems and then doing exactly that.
Why are you lying, man?
What
Like,
do you
why
mean?
why does it always start with all the progressive leftists with framing when the framing is completely dishonest? Trump has been actually very clear that he'd never liked Maduro and that there would likely be some interference going on there. Like he's been clear about that. I mean, over and over again, he's been clear about that. That's one, and two. This shifted very quickly from the leftists saying, "Oh, he's going to drag us into another war." I thought he was the anti-war president. To, "Oh, he black bagged the guy and brought him back here for trial in 3 hours, and it was bloodless and genius." And none of you guys have ever done anything like that. None of your presidents. And so now the criticism is, I can't believe that he's dragging us into wars. Where's the war?
I'm not saying it's a war. I'm specifically talking about the platform in 2018 when he was going 2016 when asked about essentially re-stabilizing countries, going in and making it our cost, our dollars, our manpower, going in and stabilizing a country that has is not ours. He said that we should do that less often, that we shouldn't meddle in other countries, that we should prioritize our own. And what are we doing? The complete opposite, saying that we're going to temporarily run Venezuela until they transition into a
But
more.
if I may, why do you care if Trump followed through on a campaign promise if you're not a Trump voter?
Good
For
point.
example, if Trump all of a sudden came out and was like, hey, Medicare for all, maybe Andrew and I or Trump voters would say, wait a minute, we don't like that. But you would presumably like that policy, and you wouldn't say, well, even though I liked the policy, he went against the campaign promise, so I'm mad. Either you think what he did with Maduro is good or you don't. But I'm not understanding the utility of someone who is not a Trump voter saying, I'm upset that he went against a campaign promise.
No, I'm generally upset that we're trying to restabilize a country that we have no business restabilizing.
And did you feel the same way with Democrats and their efforts to do this in countries around the world? Libya, Syria, a
Yes,
litany of other countries. Did you say the same thing?
yes.
Okay. Do you have a Twitter?
Do I have a Twitter?
An X account?
No.
Do you
Wait,
have Do you have any social media account where I can go and see your criticisms of Democrats doing this?
I don't post criticisms publicly.
Oh, well, that's awful convenient, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I just think it's awful convenient that you don't have any public criticisms of Democrats for doing the exact same thing you claim you would condemn them for, while you're here condemning Trump for this thing. So you don't
Am I making a
publicly,
post right now?
you don't
Or am I having a
publicly,
conversation?
hang on, you don't publicly post your condemnations of Democrats, but you publicly talk about your condemnation of Trump. That's convenient.
You're comparing two things that are completely separate. You're talking about a post or a discussion. I've had public discussions talking about how our past political movements, whether that be Democratic or Republican, were ridiculous.
Okay, where can I find them?
In live history. I don't know. Do you want me to go find somebody and give me
Yes.
the live recording?
Go find some and send me the live, and I'll play it and see if you're actually criticizing Democrats for this.
Okay, fantastic. Now that we're past that, do you feel
We're
like
not
we
really
should
past
be?
that, though. I really want you to go find those and send them to me so that I know if you're telling the truth or not.
You realize that that's reductive, right?
What's reductive about it? You say you do it.
Yeah, and
So then it's not reductive.
But what's the point of trying to find a recording of the same exact
What's the
thing?
point of me trying to figure out if the claims that you're making, if you're full of shit or not? Gee, I wonder why I would wonder that.
So you're saying because I'm you, so you disagree with, you think that we should be restabilizing Venezuela?
Hang on. Why are you trying to goalpost shift immediately?
That's the entire conversation I've been having.
No, that what Rob
That
asked
is
you
specifically what I
specifically
said.
was if you have criticized Democrats for the same thing which you're now criticizing Trump for doing. You said, yes, I've done this on multiple lives. I said, okay, they're public lives. Can you tell me where I can find them to see if this claim is true, or if you're full of it and you just want to criticize Trump, even though you don't actually criticize your side for the same action? I think that's completely legitimate. So where can I find the lives?
Yeah, Unrealness is a live debater. I go on there quite often.
And you specifically levy criticisms against Democrat foreign policy when they do interventionism, or you support it?
Sorry, you said what?
You specifically are condemning Democrats for foreign interventionism?
Yes, specifically Biden and
Okay.
Obama. I don't think Obama did manage it very well either.
Did you
Okay.
vote? Did you vote for Biden and did you vote for Kamala then? It was his VP.
I didn't vote for Biden, no.
Did you vote for Kamala?
I didn't vote for Kamala, no.
Okay. So then if your argument is just that this is something you don't like. That's fine. We can talk about the details of it. I'm
That's
highly
specifically what
I'm
I was
highly skeptical, and people call in and they have criticisms of Trump for things that we could see Democrats have done just as bad, if not worse, that they were also
Well,
public
yeah,
in their
see, this is
criticism.
what I think is reductive and childish in this type of debate is, oh, well, someone else did it. That's literally a middle schooler's argument. Well, we did it too, so
Look, I
it's
think it's
fine.
fair. I think it's fair to point out that we shouldn't be engaging in whataboutisms. But I also think it's equally fair to point out that many people have criticisms of Trump that aren't actually consistent with their beliefs because they just hate Trump. Both of those
That's
things
fair,
you hang
but
on, hang on, hang on.
all
Both
right.
of those things you agree are true, right?
Yes, I
So
agree.
it's fair for me to find out if you're only saying this criticism of Trump because you have Trump derangement syndrome.
Mhm.
Correct? That is fair for me to do.
Yes, absolutely. I don't
Okay.
disagree.
Okay, so you and then I'll grant this to you, right, to keep my own side honest. Rob, if you don't, if you're saying that that's a whataboutism, I'm totally fine with granting that, so that you and Rob can pursue the discussion. And he doesn't care either. Trust me, we
Yeah,
keep each
that's
other
that's
honest. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just okay. So to without it making it sound like an anecdote, like I'm prior service. I was in the army for 8 years.
What is your MOS?
I was a pogue, 88 Mike.
Oh, okay, truck driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not. I mean, my understanding is that during the Iraq war, especially, I guess I can't use the word. Okay, during the Iraq thing that was going on, that truck drivers actually got in all the time.
Well,
So
they're the second most deployed MOS, and around 70% of the MOS doesn't actually drive. You're associated with other relative. Like I was attached to an infantry unit.
okay, all right. Well, we'll skip past that. I was just
Anyway,
curious, but anyway, go ahead.
the whole point is, and I understand like the entire like military industrial complex is proxy engagements.
Yeah, so
So
stupid, dude.
TikTok,
But we got to talk that
no.
way. We got to talk that way. I'm sorry, bro. Go
proxy
ahead.
engagements, and I understand that, but and I also see the other side of like I see the interviews of Venezuelan nationals who are like, we don't care about the oil. We're glad to be liberated. I get that, but for me, it's all right. What are we about to? Is this setting a precedent where now are we going to go into Greenland and do the same thing? Right? Like on an interview on a phone interview yesterday, I think Trump said that this lady that's taken over a ball that the
Cut out, dude.
like what type of language are we using there? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Test. Okay. On an interview
Try
yesterday,
to, if you can, try to keep the
Trump's-
points super concise, bro.
yeah. On an interview yesterday, Trump said that the lady that's taken over in Venezuela that he doesn't play ball. If she doesn't play ball, that the consequences for her are going to be much worse. Did you see that?
Yeah.
yes.
What do you think about that?
I think that the president of the United States is constitutionally the number one diplomat, constitutional authority to be the number one diplomat, and part of foreign policy for being the number one diplomat is that you're allowed to utilize rhetorical devices and whatever else you need to in order to keep American interests solid.
Do you think that we need to engage in a similar fashion in Greenland in terms of? I just feel like we're getting to the trend of occupation.
See,
But
but here's
it's
the
a
thing: like, you can't criticize Rob for a whataboutism and then make one of your own. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm afraid that what about Greenland? I'm afraid. What about Greenland? It's like, what about Greenland? So here's the thing: is like, can we keep the criticism at least focused to Venezuela without you giving like your soothsaying about whatever future potential you think may happen with Greenland? Because you're just shooting in the dark on that one, right?
Well, I mean, he just made the comment yesterday, so it's not necessarily shooting at the dark. It's shooting at a target
Yeah,
that is
Trump is
out there.
bombastic and he uses bombastic rhetoric often.
Well, and listen, like I think there is legitimate concern. I've shared it myself with the idea of overuse of interventionism. I think that Trump is in line, in fact, less than most of what we've seen. Regardless of what you think, this mission was done remarkably efficiently, right? And once it's done, I think that your criticism you have here of Trump's language, even as a non-interventionist, I like this language, and the reason is this: once we use force of this case, allowing the world to see, look, we have the potential to do this in hostile places is a good thing. That makes it less likely that we use force. If he came out and said, trust us, we'll never do this again, this was a one time thing, then all of a sudden, people that are in cartels in places like Mexico or other places, particularly in the Western Hemisphere, that are like hostile to their own people and to the United States, they're going to be like, oh, we don't have to worry. So I don't mind Trump's bombastic language. He's always had it, and he's shown remarkable restraint in his first term that he didn't go around the world invading everywhere, despite the fact people said his language suggests he'll do that.
That's fair, and I guess we just gotta take it as we see it. But
Yeah.
for me, I
Hang
think that
on, Caleb. Look, I appreciate the call, but I got a bunch of ops here, right? And
yeah, we'll
I gave
go.
you plenty of time to talk. And I'll see you next time on the next live. Thanks
All
for
right.
calling in,
See
bro.
you soon. Yep.
Yep, have a good day.